So, we're joined here today by Cai Ap Bryn,
Hello.
the one and only. For anybody who doesn't know who you are, can you tell everyone who you are?
So I'm Cai Ap Bryn. I appear on Field Sports Channel TV. I run my own catering business called Game and Flames, and we kind of specialise in fire cooking with game.
Have a big Instagram. For those of you who don't care about actually booking him, his Instagram is 100% worth a follow.
Yeah, so if you look at our Instagram, you might get hungry.
You do get hungry regularly.
And so I've been shooting for many years. Not really from a hunting background, family wise.
How'd you get into it?
I used to live in North Wales from when I was 8. I moved down to the south coast of England with my dad's work. But when
Civilization.
To civilization from Snowdonia, so a mountainous area. And although I never did any hunting, fishing, I loved fishing. I loved trout fishing. My dad used to take me. My dad wasn't a fisherman, but he knew that me and my brothers wanted to go, so we would go quite often.
Fly fishing?
No, like with a bobble.
Nice.
Literally a bobble float, because it was just easier. And my dad didn't know anything about fishing, so for that, it was a lot easier to take us out.
I'm not a purist, no. Catching fish is
so
catching fish.
I remember one of the first fish I ever caught was an eel. And I've got pictures of it back home, and it was about that long, and I demanded my parents to cook it for me. I wanted to eat it, and like everything I ever did, all the trout and everything after that, like I wanted to eat it. And then when we moved down to the south coast, sea fishing was quite big, so I used to do mackerel fishing, cod, and anything off the beach. My passion kind of grew from there, so I went on to get an air rifle, as you do when you start off young. So you'd shoot rabbits with your friends and try and cook it, like ruin it, be too tough. Or I had no idea what you were doing, but you would try it out, and they were really good days. I remember being.
There's something about those days, though. I don't know, like you mentally convinced yourself that this was the best food in the entire world, regardless of the fact you just cooked the hell out of it.
But I used to watch like Ray Mears and things like that. I think that was so cool. I want to do something like that. Like you want to live in the wild for a year, but you're only like 13, so you can't. Yeah. So I just loved the idea of shooting something and cooking it, and like everything was being almost like completely natural, and how we used to do things back like Neanderthals or whatever, proper hunting and cooking. And like I've always had that passion. I can't, like I've tried to explain before, I can't describe it. It's something that's so far inside you that you just feel it's right. And I've always felt, even since I was like a young child in Wales, I remember like I've got this, I'm going to eat it. And that's never left me. So when I first started kind of proper cooking, when I was shooting with the air rifle, whether it be like a rabbit or a pigeon or something, like I started to learn more and more and more. When I was 15, I worked in the kitchen, so I started off washing up when I was actually about 14, and then the assistant chef left, like the sous chef. Then I came on board, like, and started learning up the ranks. Then I ended up running the kitchen when I was like 16. So it was not like a fancy restaurant. It's just a pub. But at that age, I was like learning, and I was also a bit like pissed off because I didn't like the idea of deep frying everything and kind of like chucking things in microwaves. It's not the way I wanted to do things. So as I kind of went to college, just trying to study music, trying to find my way in life, I ended up starting another business called Wild Food Catering Company. So before Game of Flames, I started up a catering company. So we would specialise in venison burgers, wild pulled boar and pigeon breast wraps. But they're all like for game fairs. So the CLA, Midland, a lot of the countryman fairs at the time.
So you're travelling around a lot doing that?
Yeah, like nearly every weekend in the summer we'd go and do that. But the problem is with the events industry is that it's really hard. The weather, British weather, is so unpredictable. Like it's ridiculous.
And you don't get a refund if the business isn't good.
No, you don't. And the pitch fees as well. So you go to like the CLA, like costs like $2,000 for the weekend. Now you got to get
for a smallish pitch.
You got to get like 5-6 people to work with you.
You got to put them up.
You got to put them up. You got to kind of pay, and then they'll take 10% of your profit at the end because it was like a middle company doing it. Like just try and take you every way you can. And not only that, if you wanted to sell drinks, you'd have to buy the drinks through that company. You couldn't go to like Booker's or whatever and go and get something. Not all events are that, but that's what the CLA was like. And it was I just realised I'm working my arse off for nothing. It was really, so 7 years we did that. Took a year out, and then I started Game of Flames purely in the beginning just to teach people. So I started teaching school children.
Like forest schools kind of thing.
Yeah, basically like a forest school. So I would teach them skinning, butchery, kind of plucking, little recipes, satay rabbit, or kind of like kebabs and that stuff. Really easy, quick stuff because you can't really do slow stuff when you haven't got your kids for half a day, and that kind of grew. But then the wedding season came in, and we started doing all this fire catering, and it kind of like erupted. So like the last 2-3 years has been like going more and more and more popular with fire cooking, because I mean, you seen yourself, was it last year, the Viking? That Viking Arms, that was the client day. It's not only just like a taste that tastes good, but it's actually, you know, it provides kind of theatre. It's a theatre. It's a theatre. So so when people book us for weddings or something like that, our selling point is I try and provide a lot of the games as I can, or from the local area. It's theatrical. So not only do you get really good food, but you actually get like another dimension to your wedding day that people will remember, rather than like an anemic chicken breast in like watery sauce. You know, it's actually sharing platters on the table, like carved venison loins.
Proper feast sort of
proper
atmosphere,
feast. Yeah. But it's social. So it's like how it should be. If you're having a wedding or whatever, you know, you want it to be social. So we could be sitting on a table.
Have you written a wedding guide? Yeah, I feel like you should. Like, should be next
it could be on the way.
Your wedding should be like this.
I'm not going to disclose all my secrets yet. But if you're sitting at a table, it's happened many times where you don't even know the people on the table that you're sitting with, because you know, just people there. But by having sharing platters and things like that, it's a talking point, and it gets people talking, and it's a complete, you know, different dimension, and it works really, really well. So that's what, on the business front, that's what I've been doing. And about 5 years ago, I went with Phil Sports Channel TV. So I've been.
How did that relationship start?
Bumped into David, and he was like, "Well, you're local to me. You know, well, we've seen what you've done before, so why don't you come on board?" And it was something that I really enjoy working with David, because when you're working with David gets the best out of you. So when you're filming, you don't feel like you're being filmed. Like you just feel like you're with your mates or whatever, and you're just talking away, and it's very natural. So what you see is what you get. So when you get like people laughing and having a good time, it's not staged, it's genuinely
people laughing and having a good time.
And that's kind of, you know, and that's
he's a lovely guy from my limited exposure.
The other good thing about David is because of his knowledge of the shooting industry is very superior to most people. He knows everyone, and because he films everything, his actual hunting knowledge is probably better than most hunters as well. Because if you think about it, he's out there every week, you know, days,
being all
filming
over the world, all over the country.
Rabbits, or you could be, you know, red deer in Scotland, or just anywhere around the world, and he captures it and he takes that on board. So if you're filming something and something's not quite right, or you need to say something again, and he'll correct you, and he'll work with you. It's really easy working with him. So we've been doing hunt and cook for on and off for a few years. And as I said, we've been to Norway a few times, Hungary, Croatia, all over the UK, probably somewhere else as well, can't remember. But it's great fun.
So, seals? Was it seals?
Yeah, you remember that?
I remember seals, yeah. Tell us about seals.
We didn't shoot a seal though.
No, you didn't shoot seal, but you did.
We were out there for days trying to shoot. So, my friend Trigger, who's actually just gone back today, this morning, I dropped him off at the airport, he came down. I was invited out to shoot the grey seal, so they have a small season over in Norway. But they're very different. They're not close to land. The time when we went to get them, they're literally on rock pools out in the middle of the sea. And it's really, really difficult. Like harbour seals are everywhere. So there is a season for them, but we went after them because we were too late. And so we had a permission to shoot a grey seal. And they do cull them. They create problems for the fish farms, and so they've got a certain amount they can cull. So we go out on the boat and try and find these seals, and we were out there for about 2.5 days, like overnight sometimes.
And it's a smallish boat on a fairly choppy sea.
And it's a small boat. So there's a couple of things with this that was quite funny. Was we did get into a group, and the sea was quite rough. So I don't know if you remember this footage, but. So he managed to kind of get me in on the back of this island, and then the seals were on another island. Literally, there's loads of rock islands. So when you're driving a boat, you really need to know what you're doing, because it's really dangerous.
You're going to crash, yeah.
Yeah. So sitting on this. So I had the rifle with me and everything else, and I took like a little camera, a little GoPro as well, and I'd mount it and then get down on a bipod and try and shoot these seals. And you think that you know how close they are, but literally I'm sitting there firing. Like, I think they're about 150, and like I can see the water in between me and them splash in the middle. So I'm going for 200, and it's getting like the splash is getting closer. I just gave up because it was just absolutely just like guessing. You know, I didn't have a rangefinder on me. You're middle out in the sea, and they looked really close, but they weren't. They must have been about 350 meters away. It's the getting in a position and or whatever, but to have that opportunity was really cool.
I was going to say, it was about the experience.
Because
because you ate seal at the end of it as well.
Yeah.
Right?
So
how was that?
Really nice. Really, I can't even describe what kind of. I didn't even know what it's going to look like or what it's going to taste like. But I'm just trying to. It was quite rich. It's very dark. It was quite dark meat.
Fishy or not? Just meaty.
A little element of fishiness, but meatiness too. It's got a taste of its own. I can't. You have to try it to kind of. But I remember he was telling me one thing they have to do with the seals as well. Believe it or not, is test it for trichinella.
Yeah.
Because it's because
you don't want that.
No, eats other animals and it can carry the disease. So when they do shoot a seal, you have to get it sent off to be tested, like you would with a wild boar or a bear or something like that. But luckily he had some in his freezer. So we cooked it in a barbecue. I did kept it quite basic. We did a little bit of sweet sauce with it as well. And that was really cool, really nice. But you have to try it because I haven't tasted anything like it. And to get to the point now, it's a few years ago, I'm starting to forget what it tastes like. So
you're thinking of a return trip seal bashing? It's
been spoken about, to try and
redeem.
To do that again and see if we can go out there and take on, or maybe a harbour seal. And they're easy to get to. The grey seals are much bigger and trickier. So.
I'm just trying. If you'd shot it, you'd have to get it into the boat. That's not.
You have to kind of hook it in, apparently, but you have to
gaff it and drag it back to land.
Quick, and bring it in. But it's the little things, like how do you gut this thing, or what do you do? Because it's not like a deer or anything. It's a complete.
It's hard enough to shoot a big deer.
Well,
dragging it somewhere, let alone.
Yeah, so I was really intrigued on that part of how you prepare it, and how do you cut the bits off it, the meat bits, and what can you eat off it, what can't you eat off it. So I think a return trip is needed to have a look into, see if we can do that.
100%. So is that up there in your list of favourite hunting experiences?
I would say no. Yes, it was great fun and it was nice being out there. It was really hard work because trying to find these seals. But I would say my favourite has been recently when I went to Finland for the moose.
Yeah.
That was unreal. We went to middle of Finland with this guy called Jarkko, as you would say in Finland, in Finnish. Hunting lodge in the middle of the forest, very beautiful, amazing, just great hospitality, great food, great people. But because we were filming, we wanted to get a moose on camera, so he had invited down a few dog handlers. So there's 3 or 4 dogs. 2 of them were young girls who were exceptional. They were amazing hunters. Something that you don't really see much of that. We have got great female hunters in the UK. Don't get me wrong, but these women would live in the woods. They would live and breathe it, and they'd be out there on their own in the woods chasing these moose and things. So we got there. The dogs have got the collars, tracker apps, and you get that on your phone as well.
They're going to afford you to run that, or is it all?
Yeah, believe it or not, they must.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So we're out, and then they basically go on a trail, and we go out walking about with a guy with a dog, and then you'll see everybody's dog is on this app, so everyone shares the same. So you see the picture of the dog on a GPS map, and the routes they go. Now, when the dog's onto a moose, it barks. It doesn't bark when it's not on a moose, but when it barks on a moose, it counts. It's like a barks per minute. So you'll see in the top corner, a certain dog will have if it starts going up to 30, 40, 50 barks a minute, you know
it's close, yeah.
I think it starts squiggling around on the map. And then you just have to run there or drive or whatever, because it's a huge area over a few kilometres. So there is like a few forest roads in between. And you basically, the only way you can do it is intercept. So you have to try and guess where it's going to go. You have to look at
it driven to you by luck.
Yeah, we have to look at the layout of the land, you know, and see what's a probable way it's going to go. And we were chasing this moose for a few hours, and at one point we stopped. I mean, I was breathing out my arse, and so was David, to be fair. Yeah. But like, we were just running down the road, and we see about 200 meters away, just quickly cross the track. This moose, bugger. And then, you know, we eventually got into a position where you can hear the dog with your own ears now, barking in the distance. You know, there's a moose in front of it. It's getting closer and closer, and my heart was like going, because like you can hear it getting closer and closer and closer. So all we had to do was I just braced myself against a tree, and soon I had this small gap. As soon as I see that moose in my peripheral vision, as soon as I see it come in, I just pull the trigger, then just in front of it, and then hopefully I got it, and we did. And but I just remember standing next to our guide, and he was saying to me, like, he could almost feel my heartbeat through my shoulders, because it was. I mean, because you could hear the dog coming closer and closer.
Barking.
Yeah, and
they're
you just
not
know
quite animal anyway.
And you know it's imminent, and then you don't. At the same time, you think, God, I don't want to shoot the dog. I don't want to do this. And you've got all these things going through your mind. So I just like went against a birch tree or something, and then as soon as I saw it, I pulled it, and then you could hear the dog stop, so it's barking. So you knew the moose was down, and we managed to put a good shot in it and got in there. It was just like a complete amazing experience, because I shoot a lot of deer, a lot of fallow and everything else, and it's great. But something the size of a moose you can't comprehend until you actually walk up to it and see how, you know, just think like these beasts live in the forest, and they're just absolutely just like kings of the forest. They're just huge,
monstrous things.
Yeah,
they really are.
And just their legs are so kind of long and spindly and white as well, and the way they walk or they run, it's very peculiar, not like you would see like a deer. So everything about it was like, so that was really cool. And then we got to take some meat. I cooked up some of the heart that evening, little canapes, and then we had a sauna. David Wright loves a sauna. Don't tell too many people. We're stuffed now. He loves that. So yeah, any excuse for a sauna and a beer at the end of the day, just to kind of chill out, because it's really hard work.
I'll bet, yeah.
It's really hard work.
Having fun usually is.
Yeah. So at the end of the trip, we made some kebabs, we all whittled the sticks, and I got some rubs together I made, and we all sat by the fire, and we all shared the stories of the hunts and everything. So like we said before, the shooting bit, it wasn't easy by any means.
It's the glue that binds it all together.
Yeah,
right? I mean,
you know, it's the whole experience that I remember. It's not just the shooting; it's everyone sitting around talking about it or talking about their own experiences. It just brings everyone together, and to share that moment with people that you don't really know that well, and you get to know them. And so with good food and drink and company, you know, that's the bit I remember most. It's how nice that is. But on that same trip, which this is the reason why it's like one of the best trips I've been on, is because we got to shoot a black grouse.
Yeah.
So we shot the black grouse with a 6.5.
Yeah.
All right. Full metal jacket out the top of a tree, which is something like
mildly frowned upon around here.
In the UK here, if you
start shooting pheasants out the top of trees with a 243.
Yeah, on top of the horizon with a 243 or whatever, like you just think you're mad and you would lose your license. But this is like in like these dense areas or like in remote areas, it's the norm. I thought it was going to be with a shotgun initially or something, and you can do that.
But you can't do it from.
No, but these birds, like they perch themselves on top of like a birch tree or something, or a spruce, and they're like a few hundred meters away. But if they see you, they just go. It's not like, you know, if you see a pigeon in a tree, you can probably walk up to a reasonable distance. Like I'm talking hundreds of meters. So we would end up stalking these birds like they were deer or something. We didn't get it, just complete cleanness.
It's a small target at that sort of range.
I mean, you're talking about something like that, and it's up high, so it's affected by the winds and everything. But luckily, the last day, because we'd been the day before, long day, no luck. Last day, about an hour before we had to leave for our flight home, we managed to get in position on this rock and shoot one at like, I think it was 260 metres. So we shot this black grouse at 260 metres off this pine tree, and then it dropped. And I just remember seeing it, like the beautiful colours, the blacks, the kind of the blues and the white, like almost like magpie style colours and some of it as well, and obviously the red crest. It was just an amazing experience. And then we breasted it out. Well, I actually skinned the whole thing, breasted it out, then we cooked it on the fire. Like, not much to it, so you get the proper taste. Quite a wild kind of gamey taste, but it's lovely.
Similar to grouse or not?
Yeah, it's quite similar to grouse, but this one was, I would say, even more gamey, like the black grouse, the one I had anyway. So then we had to rush, get all our stuff together, and then go to the airport and go and kind of go home. But that was an amazing trip. I've been lucky. I've been on quite a few. Reindeer was the other one. Went out with Trigger. We got some amazing footage on that, which really weirdly, like we made a couple of videos for Field Sports Channel. The better one, I think, has got less views. Like the one with me eating a reindeer testicle, it's got 3.5 million views. Like, which is, it's gone viral. Me eating a testicle.
People like to see
I never think that
eating
growing up.
testicles.
I didn't think that'd be one thing. Is like, you know, what people get to know you a lot about is eating reindeer testicles. So
it's just going to affect your kids for the rest of their lives as well.
Yeah,
imagine that.
I have to show them later on in life when they're ready for it, I think.
Yeah. It's going to come out at school. Your old man, he eats reindeer testicles.
But, so, you've asked me a couple of questions, and I really enjoy coming in, because it's a bit of a impromptu visit. I'm on my way to shoot some Seeker with...
Should have some good luck with.
Elliot Pidgley up in Leamington area. So, on the way through, I ran out 30.06 rounds from shooting the last few days, fallow. So I messaged yesterday on social media, which is great, you know.
Wonderful thing.
Yeah, and you had some in, so I've just popped by, and generally really impressed with your setup here. I think it was really nice, and to be honest,
wait till you get to know us.
But the range of ammunition you've got, like all around my area at the moment, like no one's got 30.06, no one. And that's what I'm shooting. But here, like you bring out quite a few boxes. You had your Barnes, you had RWS, Seiko.
Should say there's a mild bias that I need it for myself. So
But no, it's cool. It's really nice to see, and you know the choices. And I've noticed as well, you've got the kind of the simulator as well, the driven.
That's quite cool.
So I'm gonna have to come back another time and try that.
I'll challenge you on it if you like.
Okay then.
Not like throwing down a gauntlet or anything,
if
not that kind of challenge.
If you're working my way back in a couple of days' time, maybe I'll stop by then and we'll have a challenge.
Oh, maybe. A wild boar fever challenge.
Yeah, cool.
How many boars can you kill in a minute? Maybe that's a little bit harsh. Maybe we'll give it a go.
Can I have a few practice rounds first? Is that all right?
As long as I can. Yeah. One of those things like, you'd imagine like I should go on it all the time. But just like, don't. It's depressing.
Yeah.
It's like the guys that work at playgrounds. Do you shoot a lot? No.
I think you're too busy working, aren't you?
Yeah.
Too busy watching other people enjoy the sport and you don't give much time to do it yourself.
Yeah, that is the oldest gun shop lie in the entire world. Too busy working. Not everyone goes out shooting, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Or you're sick of guns and going to do something else. Anything exciting coming up?
So coming up, catering wise is quite quiet now because the end of the season.
Summer's your main sort of.
Shooting wise, I've got a few invites. Look at nothing really major on the horizon. Possibility of going maybe Spain next year and some other places, but
Which would be good.
Yeah, I saw that out coming up. But at the moment, Ireland too. I've got another invite for Ireland. So that's probably going to be next year. This year, I really need to concentrate on my own ground. I've got a lot of management to do there.
Primarily on the fallow.
Fallow, yeah. I have got roe, but I don't really touch a roe because there's not enough numbers, so I just leave them be. But the fallow, you know, I get groups of 20 or 30 on small fields. So that's what we're doing this last few days. Actually, was trying to manage the numbers, get them down, because the farmer's tearing his hair out.
That's just traditional stalking you use, or
yeah.
Them, or?
No, I literally just traditional stalking really. So we would. I've just put some more high seats up in the last few days, We've got some more made them ourselves, and get them in position, ready for the winter. But so the last summer on 2 of the farms, I mean, the deer decimated a lot of the crops, and obviously in the summertime, just before the bucks come in season, all you can do is watch them kind of chew up the ground, and then even when you do get onto the bucks, they seem to disappear, and then the does are having a party every night, and you can't even touch them. All you're doing is just watching. And the farmer, he doesn't really know deer seasons,
Yeah, and he doesn't care.
So he's watching all these deer absolutely just tear it, and it's really hard. So I need to try and make a bit of an impact this winter, so he'll have a bit more of a respite next year. And again, we're managing, so we're not wiping them out. We still have a healthy population, but at the moment it's massively overpopulated. So we're just trying to kind of thin down the numbers. We use the meat for my business. We take the mince and some of the dice, and we give that to the farmers and even local people. Really, there's people who live on the edges of the farm who know who I go and shoot there, and they see me rock up in my truck or whatever. They know who I am, but I always try and give something back, so it doesn't look like I'm just going in there shooting. And so I always try and be friendly with them. They got kids, and I say, feed your kids with it as well, and they take it all. It's brilliant.
You're big on feathered game as well, or is it mostly venison you deal with?
I really enjoy feathered game. Not so much. It's more pigeons, I would say. Yeah. So it's more pigeons.
Yeah, that's one of the finest meats out there, though.
It's my favourite. It's my favourite meat out of all of them. I love pigeon breast, and we have it a lot on our menus as well for the business. But the likes of pheasant and partridge, I do enjoy an invite every now and then. But I quite like to hunt and shoot things which are truly wild. So when they come in, and you have to use your field craft to get them. So when you're stalking, we have to build your pigeon hide. That's what I like. To me, that's the big part of shooting, is using your own instincts and trying to outsmart kind of the quarry, basically. So the stalking, the kind of the pigeon shooting the hides, or the roost shooting, or whatever, that's what I really enjoy. But I do enjoy going, for a pheasant shoot or a partridge shoot. It's quite social, and I do take birds back with me, or if you're doing ducks as well. I just don't do it as much as the others, really. So
everyone has their own thing, right? That's the beauty of the world.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. It's true, and it's each to their own. And I've had some great days on both. But also, when you got family, when you got,
you have a very small allotment of time.
Yeah,
and you have to use it so preciously.
Yeah, you've got a small allotment of time, as you said, and
unless you build your business around it.
Yeah, it's either stalking, mainly just stalking, rabbit shooting, and every now and then pigeon shooting. Really, that's kind of, and that's what I really enjoy. And so when I do get the time to go out, you know what it's like yourself, really.
Yeah, you need to do what you enjoy the most.
And you've got to get brownie points every now and then, so you've got to try do bits around the house to free up some other time. But everyone's like that, when you've got a young family and things, it's so hard. It's not easy, because
there's a small room for looking after yourself, but it is small, isn't it?
And it's not even for your spouse, it's your kids, you want to spend some time with them. They're only young once. So.
Yeah, this is it. And I don't think there's anything unmanly about looking after your family in the slightest.
No, I agree. And I've got 2 girls, so at the moment they're not more into Barbies and not shooting. So
you'll get them that way though.
But so one day I'm out deer stalking, next day I'm playing Barbies, and next day
you're any good at Barbies?
Shooting. I'm getting better.
Yeah,
I'm getting
like level
better.
10.
Yeah. Yeah, Barbies. I much prefer like the Saturday morning or the Sunday morning kind of like Peppa Pig or whatever it is.
Peppa Pig is Satan, mate.
Just sit there and just.
I'm blessed, Bo. We sit and watch Spitfires on YouTube, flying around in circles.
Yeah, that's different.
I'm quite happy with. Or tractors. I can kind of get my head around both of those.
My Little Pony too. So.
Yeah. So skinny and bony.
We've sang that a few times.
Yeah.
Not spoken about shooting them yet though, so it's fine.
Yeah, you have to teach them about the horse meat scandal up front, and this is why we eat so much game at home.
Yeah, another couple of years, and I think that will come up.
The other part of your business, you teach a lot of cooking still.
Yes.
You get a lot of new people who sort of experience game for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, so last year we did the end of our Groupon style course. We did Groupon for a while.
It was hard work, Groupon.
Never again. It's cool. I enjoyed it.
It's a good business turner. But
Not much money in it. But we did get a lot of people not in the shooting community, so people who kind of just fancied something new or a gift for their partner who likes to be in the woods but never actually touched a feathered game or rabbit or anything. Yeah. So we would do like small game butchery courses. We would do like a couple of deer in a day courses, and it's all in the woods. So we do 10 people at a time, up to 10, and we'll do like pheasant, pigeon, and rabbit. They'll come and we'll skin it, butcher it. Then we'll make like tacos and things like that.
Real nice, simple. Yeah.
But everyone gets involved. So someone makes the guacamole, someone makes the salsa. Then this is after we've done the butchery.
Yeah. And everyone gets involved.
Yeah, we're cooking the fire. Then I get them to kind of cook it as well, and I just oversee it. And everyone sits down and has a really good time. And it's one thing I say to the guys in the beginning. I say this is a relaxed course. It's not like full on,
it's not
blow your mind,
learning,
intense, educational.
We're here.
It's literally just
we're going to cook as a group and enjoy each other's company.
I want you here to enjoy yourself. I want you here to take a little bit of knowledge in, and if you can, pass that on. So we always have extra games, and I say, who wants to take some back to teach someone else or take some home, and it works really, really well. So we're going to put some more courses up for next spring. We don't do it in the winter, it's too cold and wet and miserable. So we'll wait for spring, we'll do that and a couple of deer butchery courses, and then we roll into our kind of catering season. Then autumn time we'll do again, just a handful. Just kind of keep ticking over really, and just kind of keep your hand in it, and just, it's nice to do those because I really enjoy doing them. I love doing weddings and stuff like that, but it's a lot of stress and pressure.
It's work. The other one's sort of sharing.
Well, people pay a lot of money for their special, and you have to make sure that everything is as perfect as it can be. When these courses you can relax as well, even though you're teaching, but there's no pressure.
It's not intense, is it?
No, it's just the only thing I've got to worry about is the weather's not going to get bad.
Don't cut yourself with this knife.
Yeah, and no one stabs themselves or whatever. But it's cool. I really enjoy it, and we'll probably do a couple more than we did this year, next year, and then see how we get on with that, really. So yeah, it's cool.
It's cool. Right, it's been brilliant to have you on.
Yeah,
I was going to ask you all sorts of politically motivated questions, but I feel it's way
leave those questions.
Way too intense.
This is cool. No, I really enjoyed it.
No, it's been brilliant.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you, and I'm sure to see you again soon.